This is much worse than I thought. There being absolutely no sense of loyalty in relationships, quite frankly, disdain towards men who want to better themselves. And what inspired me to make this video, I was talking to a buddy of mine a couple days ago, and he told me about an interaction that he oversaw at the gym. He's a regular at this gym, so he knows all the managers, employees, and stuff like that. So that's how he heard about it. But there was a girl who was putting up some impressive weights on, I believe it was a squat bar or the leg press. And a guy, meaning no harm, innocently went up to her and just said, "Hey, those are some impressive weights for a girl," and just congratulated her on the lift. Now, this girl goes to the manager. You guys probably see where this is going. This girl goes to the manager and says that this guy's a creep, says she doesn't want him talking to her, looking at her, whatever you want to call it. Meanwhile, from what my friend told me, she was there wearing spandex shorts, yet she's saying she doesn't want other people's attention. Now, with this guy, meaning no harm, has these kind of allegations made against him, defamatory statements, slander, whatever you want to call it. All because he just went up to her and complimented her on a lift. That's no different than you or me putting up a good weight on bench and just having someone say, "Hey, congratulations, good job." He meant no harm by it. But you see what I'm saying? Again, this is why a lot of men don't want to date now, or don't even want to even approach women nowadays, because of this kind of stuff. There is no loyalty and, quite frankly, hatred and disdain towards men. I guarantee you, if she found the guy attractive, she wouldn't have been saying that. I guarantee it. But I want to tell you guys a story, actually, about a girl who reached out to me over Instagram DM recently. And this was a girl who actually had a crush on me back in school, back in high school and middle school. She went as far as having my name under her Facebook interests or stuff like that, where you could put games. It's like she decided to put my name. And back then I was very shy, reserved, like I've talked about. I didn't make the move or anything like that. She's not a bad looking girl at all. But she had reached out to me over Instagram a number of years later. And I interacted with her, just seeing how she's been, because I was genuinely curious how she's been in more than 10 years of seeing her. But as I mentioned, I rarely ever use social media, so I did not know the kind of stuff she was posting. Now, I went to her page, and I saw that she was in some, even as far back as 7 years, relationship, a long-term relationship with a guy, the same guy. And little does he know, his girl is on there, DMing other guys. I guarantee you I'm not the only one. For all he knows, or all we know, could be more than just Instagram DM, could be dating apps, could be guys in public approaching her. Again, no sense of loyalty. But me and her went to talk, and then of course when I saw those pictures, I stopped the interaction there. Not only that, but I saw that she was posting pictures of going to raves, going to nightclubs. Pretty much her whole Instagram catalog was just pictures of her half naked, going to raves and those kind of places, which again, that's trashy. That's not somewhere where a good woman is going to go, especially if they're in a relationship. There's no amount of gaslighting that's going to convince me otherwise. There's no girls' night out. There's no girls' night out when you're in a relationship and you're supposed to be loyal. There's no girls' night out in that case. But again, I didn't continue the interaction based on that. But imagine this guy. This girl might be his whole world. I went ahead and saw the kind of stuff that she was tagged in. And it was pretty much all pictures with him. And I felt so bad for the guy. I was actually close to DMing the guy, quite frankly. And some people might say, "Oh, well, it's innocent." No, there's nothing innocent about it. You do not message other men. And that's the gaslighting. That's what it's done. You do not message other men when you are in a relationship, especially a guy that you had a crush with back in school. That doesn't make any sense to me. And again, that's the big problem. When you have men that make women their whole world. Because in this case, a lot of women I've seen, they get bored, and they get bored faster than ever before, especially with the social media stuff, the hypergamy stuff. So they start getting curious. They start seeing their other options, their other routes. Doesn't matter how good of a guy you are in a lot of cases. Real loyalty is scarce. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. Even I had a buddy of mine who there was a girl that he was talking to, and she was actually a girl who he had known a long time ago, reached out to him over Facebook. And it turns out that she's in a relationship and married and has kids with another guy. and she's DMing my friend. Now, my friend didn't reply to her message after 8 hours, so she blocked him. She probably felt foolish. But it's like, guys, what the heck is that? You have women who are married who have kids doing this kind of stuff. I mean, that is just absolutely absurd. And I want to make another point too with the raves and the nightclub stuff, because I've heard a lot of people talk about, excuse me, should have drank water, but I have a lot of people talking about how those are the kind of places where you're going to meet girls. Like, even when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, people would say women care about social media presence, women care about dating apps, and that's what the times. I'm not going to get with the nonsensical times. I'm not playing part in that. I'm not going to get on a dating app. I'm not going to go to raves or nightclub, places where I don't like to go, places where I quite frankly dislike, because I don't even do substances, drink, whatever you want to call it. I don't do those things. So why would I want to place myself in an environment and get with a girl who I have nothing in common with? You guys see what I'm saying? And even a lot of men will tell you, well, those girls are just good for sleeping around. That's the big problem, is the lust nowadays is all around us. I see, quite frankly, nothing but lust for the most part. And that's really the issue with a lot of this dating stuff. There is no sense of loyalty, and we're surrounded by women who, quite frankly, hate us in a lot of cases because they were raised that way. They don't know any better. They were raised that way. Like when I was in school, a lot of the stories I've told in previous videos of teachers, professors who make all these kind of backhanded comments towards men, who cast doubt on them. That's who a lot of women are being raised by. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But with the monkey branching stuff, wanting to go from relationship to relationship with this girl that DM'd me, with the boyfriend. Let's say in some other alternative reality, I continue the engagement and we end up hanging out. What makes you think she would not do the same thing to you in a few months or years down the line? She's already shown she's disloyal. She's already shown her true colors. You shouldn't waste your time at all with a girl like that, whether it's sleeping with her, whether it's hanging out with her, whether it's even talking to her. That is a waste of your time. It is not going to go anywhere good. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, and another thing I think is important for men to understand too, which I think a lot of men do understand, but a point I want to make. Relationships are one part of a man's life. If you make women or relationships like this, like unfortunately this guy had with all of his pictures being with her, you make the girl your whole life, especially a girl like this who's disloyal, who doesn't value you. It's going to end up ruining your life. If you make it everything, if you make a toxic woman everything in your life, you will be left with nothing. It will absolutely ruin your life, whether it's toxic, slander, because no matter what people want to say, it's never easy getting over a breakup with a toxic woman, because I've seen a lot of men who have been destroyed in toxic relationships, the courts, divorce courts, splitting, all this kind of stuff. I've seen a lot of men destroyed by it. So men should have the discipline to not go to nightclubs and those kind of places, to not sleep around. Men should have that discipline. Those women, leave them for that. Leave them for that lifestyle. You're too good for that, bro. You are too good for that lifestyle. You know, and my thing is this too with the whole online stuff, because a lot of people, like I said, when I was younger, they said dating apps, get on dating apps. My issue with the dating apps is that essentially means the girl has social media and is public with it because she's already showing herself on dating apps. What I don't understand either is how can a girl not get a man in person? Most women, at least in the city I'm on, get hit on all the time. It's just they have this hypergamy where they want some 1 in a million whatever guy. Women should not have a problem getting in a relationship in person. So what that tells me is dating apps a lot of the time, unless in some very perhaps exclusive cases, like if a girl's from a different part of the world and really doesn't have any sense of community or something like that. It's just for validation. It's just for attention and validation. And for me, guys, the last straw with the dating apps for me, because I used them when I was in my early 20s. Now, they were different back then, but they were still no good. The last straw for me was there was a girl who we were talking, I was supposed to hang out with. And we were supposed to actually go on a jog because we lived in the same neighborhood. We were within a few blocks away. And she just stopped responding. And then she would respond again the next day and would want to keep on playing this game. I said, that's enough. And this is a regular occurrence. The ghosting, the flaking, that is the norm for the dating apps. Doesn't matter what people think. That is the norm. Anyone who's pretty much been on there will tell you that. Happens countless times. So the issue, guys, is that you have men who are focusing on things they should focus on. Family, work, job. Once they get the girl. And then women getting bored now. Men don't have time to keep on playing those games. They don't. Like, why is it that relationships seemingly don't last long at all? They don't. A few weeks, a few months, because there was never a sense or fundamental principle of loyalty to begin with. There wasn't. And a lot of women now having this kind of mindset that I've seen, thinking that they're above all the men around them. Like, I was even near the mall, if you guys are familiar with South Center Mall in Washington State. And there was a girl who, I'll say it up front, objectively was not particularly attractive. And just her body language acting like and walking like she is better than everyone else around her. Acting like she's better than all these men, quite frankly, because she probably gets bombarded. Whether it's Instagram DM, whether it's dating app DM, by men. That's probably why she had that entitled kind of mindset. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to play part in this kind of game. Not at all. Number one, that's not feminine behavior. And I've been seeing a lot of that too with women acting masculine. You have masculine women and feminine men now. Like, even I was at a restaurant with a few buddies of mine, and one of the waitresses started bucking up to a friend of mine, trying to act like she was going to fight him. Because he said that he didn't like the food. She literally was like, oh, well, you can take it back yourself, this and that. This is a girl who was in her mid-20s acting like that. Now, apparently, from what I had heard, she had gotten written up by other customers and stuff like that. It's a restaurant we go to pretty regularly. But I was shocked to see that interaction of the masculine behavior of this girl, even her body language when she goes around taking orders and stuff like that. There was nothing feminine about it. There was absolutely nothing feminine about it. And no matter what you want to say, this is not normal. And I understand some people might say, oh, it's the city I'm in. Get out of the city. That's the normal answer you get. But I've heard people from other parts of the country, even other parts of the world, tell me similar things that are going on. There's a big problem here. And again, this is why a lot of men don't want to date. This is why a lot of men don't really have the interest to date. Like I mentioned, the stuff with the nightclubs and raves. If that's what women want to do, not be loyal, monkey branch, this guy to that guy, go to girls' night out, don't think you're going to be able to do that. And then when you hit 30, 35, 40, and you want to settle down or you want to have a kid, that some good man who spent those years in his 20s and early 30s perhaps, building himself, whether it's getting that dream job, whether it's getting into a trade and being successful at that, whether it's getting into a college and getting a degree that's going to help them down the line. Don't think that man is going to come around and prevent any sort of ramifications for those actions. I mean, I've seen it, guys, many times. Women who are good looking, who are, in their 30s, late 30s, 40s. You think, why aren't these women married? Why are they in the predicament that they're in? And from what I've heard a lot of the time is those were the girls who were the party girls. Those are the ones who were going to the bars, the raves, the nightclubs, cheating on guys, being toxic, this kind of stuff. That's where a lot of those women, most of them, end up. So again, this is why I say that men have to focus on their mission and purpose. Do not get distracted and derailed. And if you have a girl like this who is trying to get into your life, don't allow that. And if you have a girl in your life who is behaving like this, then by all means, get them out of your life. Because I've seen a lot of men who are afraid to put the foot down. For all I know, like I mentioned the story in the beginning with the girl from school that was messaging me, I could have even told the guy, and he might have just, in his mind, not wanted to believe it, refused to believe it, or allowed her to gaslight him into saying, oh, I was just checking in on an old friend. I've seen crazy stuff like that happen. I've seen a lot of men fall passive, fall weak, and lose focus. And it's a shame. It's a shame to allow a woman like that to wreak havoc on your life. Again, this is why it's important to have good discernment. This is why it's important to have these kinds of conversations. So number one, men know they're not alone in these kind of struggles and these kind of observations. Number two, so that men can know not to repeat the mistakes of other people. I had a really good comment in a previous video about how there are times where you want to learn from other people's mistakes. Let's say you made the mistake of getting with a toxic girl. You guys, for years, are together. She moves in, lives with you. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets bored. Starts making allegations against you. Gets with another guy. You guys are married. She cheats on you. Now you're in a divorce court. It's no joke. This is not something to play with. And unfortunately, like I said, a lot of men, they do allow this to happen. Knowingly, in some cases, which is worse, but even in some cases, unknowingly. It's like the rug is swept from under them. So, really the best thing that we can do is, as men, as brothers, try to inform each other, try to give each other drive and motivation. Try to let each other know stories you've heard from friends, mutual friends, people like that, family members, so they know what to look out for. They know not to make those mistakes. And they know kind of the reality of the lack of loyalty nowadays, the monkey branching, like I mentioned, all this kind of stuff, the games that go on. Because there's a lot of people right now who are going into it naive with a blind eye. And they might be in for a real wake-up call, especially if they've come across, like I said, a lot of the women that I've seen nowadays. So, as always, guys, deeply appreciate you guys viewing the video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Appreciate it.